All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Mikunis today. I'm going to set up a Mikuni for methanol. So I've already pulled you got to pull the Welch plugs. You got to remove the stack and then remove the Welch plugs. That's a different video. But today we're going to talk about finishing the tops, the fuel inlets. The fuel inlets have been a problem for me in the past on methanol. And so I buy new ones now. And even the new ones, I don't know if the factory ones, the original tops, as far as I recall, they were much bigger inlets. The fuel inlet was bigger. So over the years, these aftermarket ones have come onto the market. I guess Tillerson makes them, but they fit a Mikuni. And we're going to talk a little bit about these. An original one comes with about 100 thousandths orifice right there. That's a 100 thousandth drill. And I'd say that's a pretty snug fit. The bottoms, as you can see, what you have here is a hard 90. So this fuel inlet has a hard 90 in it. So we're going to do two things to this fuel inlet. We're going to drill it out. We're going to make this inlet bigger. This drill won't fit in there. This drill's 140 thousandths. So we're going to go from 100 to 140 thousandths inlet. And that's what the original carburetor had on it originally, brand new. And then we're going to take this little slot here. As you can see, it's got a slot. And like I said, we're going to turn this into more of a radius 45 rather than a hard 90 for the fuel inlet. I've already done one, and we're going to show you that one. So here's this one. This one's been done with a 140 thousandths inlet drill. I set the two side by side. I think you can actually physically see the difference. Maybe not. The camera's not good enough. So we're going to come in here. We drill it. Make it a little bigger. This drill, like I say, is 135 thousandths. And then the real critical part is this 90 here. So we take the 90 and I just drill it out with the same drill, put it on a 45. That way it'll flow a little better into the system. And then we want to stay away from this outer ring area. You don't want to get into there because that's what creates the vacuum. You got to make sure the cork is sealed up on the inlet real well. If it doesn't hold vacuum, it won't pump. And you also have to stay away from this little round hole here, because this hole, if you get into that, it's just going to have an air leak. So by doing this, we improve the flow on the inlet and should be able to supply adequate fuel on a methanol carburetor, because the methanol needs about quite a bit of a bigger orifice on the jetting so that it flows a lot more fuel. And if you don't do this to the top, you may have a restriction on some of these motors, these big motors like I run 160cc motors on these go-karts, and you might have a little fuel starvation somewhere around. You know, these motors will turn somewhere between 15.5 and 17,000 RPM. So up on the top, you don't want this thing to go lean. It'll instantly stick a piston. So this is a little tech tip. Pretty simple to do. Guy with his average tools can do it. And again, just make sure everything's cleaned out after you drill it and blow it out with some air if you've got compressed air. If not, just make sure it's just nice and clean inside.